You're listening to the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Wyatt. If you are a diehard turkey hunter in the state of Mississippi, there's a good chance you've heard of and are aware of Spring Legion turkey hunting, springlegion.com. Well, we're going to introduce you today to the man who started it, founded it, owns it, and is running it, and how it all got started. He is Hunter Farrier on the podcast today.
This episode of Mississippi Outdoors Podcast is sponsored by the Foundation for Mississippi Wildlife, Fisheries, Parks, and Marine.
All right, Hunter Farrier with us here today on the podcast. Hunter, thanks for coming by. It's good to meet you. All the way from Learned, Mississippi.
Big town of Learned. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, have you ever had someone that maybe not from around here see Learned and see it written and think, now, wait a minute, how do I say this? Is that Learned, Mississippi?
All the time, and I don't blame them, but at the same time, I catch myself wondering, like, how do you not know how to say learned when it's spelled exactly like learn? But a lot of folks do. They'll pick on me, folks from, the more metropolitan areas, pick on me for not being able to even spell or say the right name of my town.
Yeah, well, we know how to say it and spell it, and so we're all good. And we also know how to spell Spring Legion turkey hunting, and a lot of people know about it. So I want to start right there. Take me back to sort of the genesis moment of how this all got, born into what it has become, Spring Legion turkey hunting. Where did it start?
Well, in Learned, Mississippi, in a very rundown trailer. I was living with my brother, not far away from the quote unquote downtown of Learned. And as crow flies about half a mile, and was sitting there. He and I have both always been very passionate about turkey hunting. Myself, probably a little more than him. He's a little bit more of a well-rounded outdoorsman, more than I am. I was working chicken farms down in South Mississippi at the time, and really had no correlation with that other than I just liked the turkey hunt a whole lot, and really just keeping up with the current state of turkey hunting then.
Yeah. How many years ago are we talking here?
2019.
Okay.
So February 2019, had no ambitions on doing anything like this at all. Okay. But it kind of, for lack of better terms, kind of had a feel of the direction or the projection. It seemed that turkey hunting was going. It was kind of evolving with the times, which is part of life. There's a evolutionary process to everything that advances, and seemed like there was a good opportunity there for the heritages, the traditions, and all of that aspect of turkey hunting to lose its course in a digital age where, a lot of folks will be learning from a computer a little more than they will be from, handed down
actual experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And wanted to do something just to throw my hat in the ring, or not necessarily my hat, but a hat in the ring for turkey hunters as I knew them to be, to kind of just hold on to what we knew it as. And it pleasantly surprised that it took off. We started just really, it was on a table about this size in the middle of that trailer with no heat, no internet and everything. That was my first obstacle I had to overcome, was figuring out how to make an online website without internet. So went to Google how to make a brand, and I was like, well, you need internet to even get that answer. So getting there was step number one. Started just producing some hats and shirts and stuff just to represent like-minded turkey hunters, and found out that there was a lot more like that. And then
how'd you come up with the name?
The name, okay, so a little bit on the name. This isn't reason number one, but a big factor was it's symmetrical. So it would fit on apparel, okay. Right.
Like on your hat, right across there, Spring Legion.
It wouldn't be over here and over here.
How about that? The mind of a graphic designer in there, and we didn't even know. That's great.
That's not that came down to a couple of different combinations it could have been, but that was kind of the tipping point there. But spring, I love springtime as much, if not more, than I love turkey hunting. And then the word Legion is kind of, it's just kind of always been connected with the turkey hunting mindset, and that goes back to Colonel Tom Kelly's 10th Legion, a book that is really just, I mean, it says everything you're thinking about turkey hunting to me, and to a lot of other folks. That's
really cool. So 2019, which not a long time ago as we record this, So really not even a full decade into the growth process of something brand new. So I guess I should start right there and say, do you realize how fast that growth has been in a short period of time to what it has become now?
Not really, but you're right. It has grown a lot, and I'm very thankful for it.
Things don't really happen that fast a lot of times.
Especially when you're not trying to make them happen that fast. So it just kind of happens, and nothing's really changed. It's still, I'm kind of the bookkeeper, the accountant, the lawyer, the marketer, everything, behind it.
And then, the hunter.
Right. And I get to hunt a lot more. So that's the biggest plus. But everything from editing our podcast and stuff like that. But then my brothers helped me out a good bit. And then, it takes a village. It's just here and there. And we're still just winging the whole thing. It's just happened to kind of take fire.
Sure. So under that Spring Legion turkey hunting umbrella, we got the website, springlegion.com, books, but tell me, so podcast, what all is there now, going on 7 years into the process?
Yeah. And it's really, like I said, we started just making a couple hats and shirts, and somehow or another, it's kind of, you look up and you're like, well, we're doing a lot of things. And so this year will be our second year doing turkey hunting gear. So everything from jackets to pants, button downs, gaiters and everything. We just released our first turkey vest. And everything is kind of just tailored to turkey hunters. We don't do anything else.
Okay.
And so everything is just thought of the mind of a turkey hunter, and to make it make sense and to make it affordable for folks, and to kind of, I might make some people mad, but don't let it turn into duck hunting to where it's just a money game, and you got to have it to even play. So just kind of keeping it real in that aspect. And then, like you said, we've got a couple books I wrote. Starting with Ballad of a Turkey Hunter in 2020, I think, and then the second one came a year or two later, Any Given Spring Morning, and we also do a podcast, the Spring Legion podcast, and a very, very mediocre YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, but it's out there. So the books, give me the titles again.
Ballad of a Turkey Hunter was first.
Ballad of a Turkey Hunter. And I guess without giving away everything that's in the book, but if I get that and I start reading, what am I reading? What's in there?
It's just like everything else. There were no rules. There wasn't no guideline. I just started writing actually during quarantine times.
Okay. So you had some time.
I had 14 days to write it. You can figure out how to get it published and everything. So all that was kind of written, skimmed through, edited, self-published in those 14 days. Accidentally launched it on Amazon. I didn't know. I thought I was going to get some author copies first to maybe check it out. And woke up one morning, was like, got your book. And I'm like, how? Because I want to get one so I can make sure there's like words on those pages. I'm sitting here with like some copy paper, and I just had like an old book sitting here and just spaced it out to make the margins. I don't know how to make margins or spacing or, stuff like that. So I'm sitting here just hoping it looked kind of like a book. And it just happened to take fire and really kind of just shot up the charts, and I'm sure that kind of algorithm stuff got a hold of it and shot it up even more. And really, that probably catapulted the brand more than anything. So, and it's done really well. It's been, a bestseller in a lot of categories and stuff like that. A lot of folks appreciate it.
Maybe that could be your next YouTube video: how to accidentally launch a bestseller.
Well, you think that, and then I tried to do it again with the second book, and I had to start Googling how to do it, because apparently I couldn't do it twice. That's always the hardest part. Doing it the first time, I had 20-something years to think about writing that book. When you only got 2 years to think about writing the next book, it's kind of it's not the same.
Is it stories of turkey hunting, or is it tips and like
a little bit of both? It's,
a little bit of
everything from the demographics of a turkey hunter as we knew him growing up, kind of just what makes a turkey hunter different than everybody else, and it really hones in on the obsession of the spring woods. And I think that's where folks really got connected to it, was they understood that. And then just putting words to things that you feel when it comes to turkey hunting, especially in an old school mindset, and everything from the woodsmanship, and I'm big on that more than stuff you can buy to get success, and defining success in the spring woods. What are you really out there to get, and everything from college years and hunting, up in Starkville and stuff. And it really just my whole life. Those are some highlights when it comes to turkey hunting.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, it sounds like kind of the overall idea is everything under that Spring Legion idea, it is focused on turkey hunting only. It is for the diehard turkey hunter. So it's like really clear what your niche is, and you're not getting confused and distracted by things outside of that.
Right. Yep. And it is only turkey hunting, and that has a lot to do with kind of going back to the demographics of a turkey hunter. There are folks who hunt turkeys, and there are turkey hunters, and a lot of times when you're around them, you know who is who, and when you're just kind of standing in a convenience store, you can. Someone walks in, you're like, it looks like a turkey hunter. And instead of like, that guy looks like he hunts a lot of stuff and does it well. Yeah. There's some guys who just they're turkey hunters, and that's just I don't know how else to say it, you know. But
well, you brought up a question a little bit ago that sort of is touched on in that second book. So how would you answer that? What does make diehard turkey hunters different?
I think it comes down to their obsession and their relationship with failure, probably more than anything.
Okay.
Because I don't know of any other really walk of life where you're going to fail so many times over and over and over again, and somehow it draw you closer to whatever that is. You know, the successes in it are great, but it's the failures that really just change your mindset and change. And I know folks, I've quit jobs, relationships have ended. Big life changes over one turkey, you know, and I know a lot of folks are like that. And it's just, it's almost, there's a compulsion there where you can't help it. And I don't know if anything else is quite like that.
Yeah. I read a note coming in here before I got to meet you about what was it, hunting the same turkey 86 times or
82.
something?
No, 83.
83?
Lost 82 of them.
Over 80 times.
Yeah.
The same turkey.
I will go to my grave saying that's the same turkey, because there wasn't but one. I only had 80 acres, and about 60 of it was inhabitable by turkeys. Okay. And and I won't spill a ton of it, but there was ways to understand or to know that's the same turkey, just the characteristics physically of this turkey. And that turkey taught me more than anything. And I hunted him at least twice a day. And I mean, I wound up, I lived in New Orleans when I first started it, and moved from there because that was getting pretty costly coming back up here to hunt the turkey. But it just gets personal like that. And I still have a text message from my dad, and I think it was, some bad weather was coming in and everything. And of course, he's like, this kid, you know, like, give up already almost, you know, that you're not going to hunt him, because this turkey knew everything, every call I had. He expected me to be there. I feel like it wasn't like he was on to me. He would probably wonder why I wasn't there if I wasn't there one morning. And but it was some bad weather, and I have a text message from my dad who was like, you realize you're probably one of maybe 3 people in this state even hunting. He's like, that's turkey hunting. You know, it's when you can't not go, is when you're risking everything just for the chance. And it's not to kill it, it's just the chance to find out if he was there. What if this was the day I wouldn't have been able to sleep that night knowing that I missed my chance, you know?
Yeah. Well, so that word obsession, comes to mind. I mean, that's really
Big
what
time.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. Obsession to a degree of, not even aggravation, just you're aware of it. You know it's a problem, but it's kind of.
So I didn't say addiction, but I think in regards to turkey hunting, it's okay. I mean, it's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's the most accurate way I could describe it. Is you're aware this is probably not the most healthy thing for your body, for your mind, for your relationships. And you kind of wish you could stop, but you can't.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of worse things, though, for
right.
sure. Regarding the clothing and the apparel, that's been out for, what'd you say, 2 years?
About 2 years, yeah.
About 2 years. How has that taken off? How's that going?
Really good. It's done well with turkey hunters. It's done well kind of in a broader sense, just people liking the stuff. It's different than really anything you're going to have. And it's very, turkey hunters are very, very meticulous human beings. Usually they're very nitpicky. They're very detailed. They modify a lot of things to make it perfect if it's not perfect. And so just thumbing through and doing stuff like, I'm wearing a jacket here. I'm not going to see this, but like it zips up from the bottom. So when you sit, it doesn't bunch up like this.
Okay.
So you can unzip it from the top. Unzips from the bottom. That's how a lot of older jackets would have 2 buttons right here. So like a sports coat,
Right.
And when you sit by a tree, you're supposed to, and this is just etiquette, and I don't know why you unbutton a sports coat, just like I don't know why you undo your vest at a tree, but you undo your vest at a tree and you undo your jacket at a tree when you're sitting. And when you stand up, you button it.
Okay.
So just little things like that. And this is just a, like a mesh liner on the inside but there's some separation there to where your body can kind of get rid of the heat, but it also doesn't, hold it in.
Right. Because much like the fall, weather we get huge variations in weather that time of year throughout the state, really.
Yeah. And this was something to put over your other stuff. So a lot of folks, instead of making what everybody else is making, like leafy jackets and hoodie things and stuff like that, we make stuff that could kind of just go with your existing, apparel and stuff like that.
What was the first article of clothing or apparel that you came up with? What was the first thing?
Hat.
A hat.
Yep. And I remember selling it by accident. I had a 14-day free trial, and I didn't know like how to check the orders or anything. And somebody ordered it, and I was ecstatic. Chase, my brother, he didn't even know I was doing this at the time. He just knew I was working on something because I hadn't slept in a week and a half. I'm like, I got to get this out in 14 days, or I'm going to have to pay $30. And I don't know if we're going to do that,
Yeah.
So someone bought it, and I could not figure out how to ship it. And how to print a label and stuff. I had to go to my friend's house to print a label. Again, didn't have internet. Of course, didn't have a printer.
Right.
So got that sent out. And I actually talk to him every now and then. I know who he is, and he's aware that that's what you got the first one.
Yeah.
It was mine for a week, but I didn't know you could actively buy them, so I just kind of sent him mine.
Sure.
And
then after the hat, what came next?
Some T-shirts and stuff, and they were just really big on the woodsmanship side of turkey hunting more so. And
okay, I want to stop right there. When you say, you've said it a couple of times, the woodsmanship, and in regards to turkey hunting, if I were to ask you to sort of define that for me a little bit, I know it's broad, but for everybody listening, for myself, what do you mean?
Woodsmanship is, I think, the hardest word to ever describe. It is kind of just using an accumulation of past events to better yourself at kind of the craft in terms of actions more than what you can buy. It's really what you can do and what you know and stuff like that. So and it's very dependent on the circumstance at that moment. So there's really, I think that's why it's hard to explain, is there is no blueprint for woodsmanship.
No formula.
Right.
Yeah.
It depends on if the wind is blowing at that moment or not. If it's not, you do something different. If it is blowing, you do walk this way, and you do walk in the shadows, and you do, understand how turkeys walk uphill more than they do downhill. And, I would never call beneath a turkey. Make sure I will go a long way to get above him, because their legs bend backwards, and they're more comfortable flying off of a ridge going at a downward slope than it's going up. And the wingless predator can also gain ground on you if it's going up. There's just so many different theories that go with woodsmanship, and it really being the heart of an outdoorsman. That is what is passed down and what is learned, and what you can do, not what you can buy.
So it's kind of, would it be fair to say that it's sort of the FIO part, the figure it out part of the sport? That's kind of what we're talking about.
It's like you're dancing with a turkey, and
right.
Hunter got really good at dancing. With
really?
that turkey.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one way to put it.
Well,
that's cool. Because I was thinking about the jacket. You get to the point where you've got things like that, and it's tailored and designed in such a way, it's really specific thing, like the zipper from the bottom, because you're going to be sitting and that kind of thing. It makes me wonder, where it's going to be in 5 years, where it's going to be in 10 years. You said you accidentally sold the book. You accidentally sold your first hat. Are things going to continue to be accidents, or is there a big plan for it?
I never really thought of that, but you're right. Yeah. And that's probably, I don't have a plan. That's probably everything. If it's going to happen, it's going to have to be accidentally. Yes. I mean, the other day we had an 18-wheeler dropping off pallets of turkey vests at my residential address, because I didn't have a warehouse, and I don't take long enough. I'm like, just send them to my house, I guess. And the truck drivers hate me because they get caught up in a subdivision and stuff. But I'm like, there is no plan. Just kind of right now keeping my head above water because there's so much at one time. It's like the floodgates are open now. The whole country knows about it and wants this and that and stuff. And I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm just kind of doing it. And I mean, I made like C's in English and have 2 best-selling books on Amazon every year. So
how about that?
it's just, but you can kind of do anything as long as you're passionate about it. And there's nothing else I'm more passionate about, I'd say.
Yeah. The idea that success follows passion. I've heard that a lot. In terms of a base of people that, have bought from you and have gotten your books and have communicated, how big an area are we talking about? Like, who have you heard from? Is it primarily Southeastern U.S.? Is it broader than that?
Yeah. I mean, we've shipped stuff to Canada and England. I don't even know if there's turkeys in England. We've shipped several things to England. But a lot of stuff's Canada. Canada's got turkey seasons now. And I mean, all 50 states and everything. And primarily the Southeast. You'd be surprised at the Northeast, the Pennsylvanias, New Yorks, and stuff like that, Maryland, Delaware. There's a lot of turkey hunters up there. And I actually went to Pennsylvania this year. And it's a very rich turkey hunting culture up in that area. I feel like it should be in the South for some reason.
I did not really realize that, I guess. Or just had never stopped to quite look into
me
it.
neither. I got up there. I'm like, y'all sure y'all are from here? Because this is, y'all are about as gung ho as I am.
Yeah. So I'm back to the clothing now, and that big variation of weather you can get. Is there cold weather stuff and, like you say, warm weather breathable stuff, or is it?
You can, everything I make to where you can put it on the outside of something you already have. So instead of like kind of scheming folks to buy like a base layer, mid layer, and outer layer, I'm just like, use whatever layers you got. Everything's got an ability to, like, this has a panel that does stretch this way, doesn't stretch this way. So I'm like, if you want to wear it in the cold, I'm not going to sell you a really thick one for another X amount of dollars. Just wear a hoodie under it and put it on top if you need to.
That's cool. So I can buy that and I'm pretty much good to go. Yeah.
And this, you can always dumb it down and make it a very lightweight jacket.
Yeah. That's really neat. For you, you wear your own stuff.
Most times, not all the times now.
Is that right?
'Cause I'm pretty superstitious, and if mojo starts getting out of whack, I'm like, man, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm a turkey hunter first. Before then, I'm going back to my old 3-pocket and then my old like Mossy dirty pants and stuff. I'm like, I got to change something up.
So you're not interested in being necessarily a walking billboard all the time here. It's the hunting that really matters the most.
Right. Yep. And not let everybody else be the brand that they want to be.
Well, but that really fits with sort of what you built all this on. Really,
I'm really am just a turkey hunter, and that's still number one.
Yeah. So
and that's true. That's not like a marketing scheme or whatever. You can ask anybody who's hunting with me, like, I really expected you to really want to promote this more. I'm like, brother, I do not care about that shirt as much as I do that turkey over there.
That's great. That'd be a great slogan on the next book of the website. I don't care about that shirt as much as I do that turkey.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you touched on this kind of early on. I wonder, you see it really clearly. Is it growing in popularity as a sport? I mean, it's a huge outdoor sport, and the following is huge. But is it growing, expanding? I mean, how would you describe it?
In respect to the 2012, maybe. 2020, probably not, because it was a big influx there because of COVID and everything, the timing of it, and literally just the free time of folks. A lot of folks picked it up, and that was kind of by accident. Spring League just started not long before that, but I mean, it's just kind of funny how things work out. Then a lot of folks got into turkey hunting, and so then I was like, the purpose was to get the information of, the heritage side of turkey hunting and the culture part of it out there to the new guys, to the new folks. And all of a sudden it was like, God opened the floodgates, like, all right, there's a bunch of new guys now, teach them all. I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm still trying to figure this out, but it couldn't have happened at a better time because, then the objective was right there in front of you, They're going to learn from somebody, and somebody's going to be paying to be on TV to say, if you don't have this, it guarantees you, this is how you hunt them. You do this and buy what I'm selling you, and you can, and I was very anti that, It's all about what you know and what you learn. And most of that comes from the turkey, not from even me. I mean, I do a turkey hunting podcast, and I'll be the first to tell you, 2 mornings in the woods teach you way more than a season of podcast for me.
Right. So you said that the turkey, and I'm thinking the experience. That's what we're talking about. Actual time in the seat. So
he's going to tell you when you mess up. Every time. If you mess up, he's going to tell you the exact moment. And
all right. So for the novice, when you say he mess up, what are we talking about? Give me an example.
When you zig, when you shoot a zag, the turkey ain't going to be there no more.
Okay, so he's gone.
He's gone.
And then
you might sit there like a fool for another hour thinking you're calling something, but he ain't there. You're lucky if he puts at you and lets you know, okay, don't do that no more. And it's down to, you'll stop walking in the sunshine when they stop gobbling every time you move. You'll figure out, get in the shadows, get lower, find a ravine or something like that. There's no leaves in there. The water washes them all away. Use that to walk. Don't walk in the leaves. How to walk like how do turkeys scratch? What's their cadence in that? It's not, they don't go to town. It's 3 and then 1. So it's technically 4. But, and if there's a bunch of, pine needles. I mean, they scratch for some bugs, but you want to make sure you're in the right spot to even do some scratching. But there's so much goes into it.
Chip and I had a conversation recently with somebody telling stories about turkeys eating salamanders. Anything moving around, crawling around, under a leaf in some pine straw, they'll get it.
I'll tell you this: a couple of years ago, I started hunting where I could find some tadpoles. And using that to scout them instead of trail cameras. I'm telling you, this is more accurate. If you can find a spot like a puddle, a rut, or something like that, and I'll go over there and look. And there's a bunch of tadpoles there, and there's still wet mud around it, and you don't see no turkey tracks. You better off trying somewhere else. That kind of answers your question right there. If they're around, if you ain't hearing nothing, if you ain't hearing nothing, and you see a rut, I'll walk the extra 100 yards, go take a look, and if there's some tadpoles in there, and you'll see turkey tracks. If you come back there, you see more turkey tracks. They're around. You just didn't hear them that morning. A lot of times they'll find, they know where those tadpoles are.
They know where they are. So you're how old?
33.
33. Young fella. Close enough. Ballpark. Young fella.
I feel like I'm 60 sometimes, also 18.
Yeah, wait till you get my age. Then we're going to see what you feel like. But so in regards to experience, and this may be a dumb question, but if it's a lot of times I think about sports, if it's like sport, I can see if a team's older and more experienced, they got older guys. Older guys are better. That's why the NFL is a better product than college football. It just is, in terms of on the field. All right. Are older turkey hunters, therefore, generally better than the younger ones? I hope that's a fair question.
It is. No, it is. I'm trying to think how to word it correctly. It all depends. And that's the only answer I really ever give somebody is it depends.
Okay.
I'll listen to them probably a little more. And then at the same time, there's a lot of older guys who hunt turkeys differently than I do that I would not ever take advice from.
Okay.
They probably have killed 4 times as many turkeys as I have, but they killed them a little differently than how some other younger folks could have. And I do, and I'm big on this when folks are talking about advice or anything like that and everything's be taken with a grain of salt. But I'm not scared to learn something from a more novice person than I am. I don't really consider it a level of experience and stuff. So if I'm hunting with somebody who's never hunted before, I'll usually learn more then than when I'm hunting with somebody who's hunted twice as much as I have. Because both of us, if it's a more experienced person, we assume a little more than the more novice person. And their suggestions are more like, let's just walk to him. And you're kind of sitting there like calculating, like if we get over here and the sun's hitting this side of the ridge and then we'll walk up here and we don't get to him, we should just walk to him, just see what happened. And they were probably right. And stuff like that. It's they think of it like a 5-year-old. Their questions are a lot, and they make sense. And it's stuff you don't think about when you're with more experienced folks. So you can learn a lot from inexperienced folks just as well as experienced folks.
Because they're not assuming as much.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. That might be why, sometimes like the analogy of you go fishing with your child or your your younger sibling, and they're in the back of the boat just kind of goofing off and not thinking as much, and they catch a big fish. You just, it's because you may be assuming a little too much in how you go about it.
You think you got it figured out. And that's what I love about turkey. It don't matter how much you've done it. And I'll be the first to tell you, like, there are days when I feel like I've lost it all. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I have no, I'm sorry to everybody I've ever given advice to because I apparently don't know what in the world I'm doing. And you can be 100%. You can do everything right. And that's what I love about it is because one wrong step, one wrong call, one wrong anything, usually 98, 99% ain't going to cut it at most times at all. But even 100% doesn't cut it. You still have to. You almost got to be 110. You have to have some things go your way more than anything, no matter, even if you're perfect on everything you try to do, which is, it's hard not to like that to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, 30 years ago, close to it, who in learning Mississippi introduced you to the woods and to turkey hunting?
That'd been my dad, and it was about 30 years ago when I was about 3. So he's kind of took me along and everything, and he was a turkey hunter. He still is. But I remember when he would hang out with his buddies and everything, his demeanor in the spring was a little different than theirs. He was a little more in tune with what was going on, and just it was just a different vibe. You kind of bouncing off of him. And I know some of his buddies were also turkey hunters and everything, but he was good at it. He still is. I don't get to hunt with him hardly nearly as much as I wish. But we have the past couple of years gone together, and I'm like, dang, I forgot you still probably know more than I do, and I've been doing this for a while now. Yeah. And but no, he loves it, and he's always has. And most of my memories come from spring.
Yeah,
hunting with him.
Oh yeah, is he superstitious also? Is that where you got it from?
I think a little bit. He's very, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he's very. He has the same stuff every year. And it's funny, I saw a picture the other day. And I do try to utilize the platform now to kind of do things for the folks who've done stuff for me in the past, and getting them up to whether it be Wisconsin or some areas that they otherwise would have never seen. Like my dad, he ain't never hunted a turkey up there. I'm like, well, we're gonna go up there now because I get to do this every day in the spring. And I was looking at the picture and like. Hardly any of us are wearing any Spring Legion stuff, So it's just like we're still just, like nothing ever happened on that aspect. We just have the opportunity to hunt more turkeys now, and that's the reward, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's been cool.
Yeah, that's great. Did you play baseball coming up?
Football.
You're football. So usually I hear superstitious. I think those baseball guys.
I quit baseball. It's in the springtime.
Spring sport.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Spring football is enough, but I definitely couldn't swing baseball after about 9th grade. I'm like, I could drive then, so I could go hunting before school. Skipped a lot of track meets. I did run track, but those were the days you really killed them because that's when everybody else is, everybody's at the track meet and everything. And I was good friends with the buddy. He threw shot put, so he was. He didn't have to be there. He was like the second shot put thrower and everything, but I ran like the 100-meter dash and everything. So mine was always like 3 p.m. So I was good, but he would always tag along. We'd go on his place and stuff. He's like, I'm supposed to be there at 9 o'clock. I'm like, well, it's in Columbia, and we're nowhere near Columbia. So I don't think we're going to make it if we left at 5 a.m. But I thought you kind of understood that. You weren't going to get to throw the shot put today if we win, and we're here. So, but yeah, sports kind of
took a back seat.
Yeah, they just went to fall only for a little while.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm curious. You've obviously talked to a lot of turkey hunters over your career. What would you say is the most ridiculous superstitious thing that you've heard?
Oh, the most ridiculous superstitious thing I've heard. I don't know. Really. We don't really talk about them that much. I don't know if that's
that's
superstition, but
keep it to yourself.
Well, there's certain things you don't ask turkey hunters. Like you don't ask them how their year. I mean, you can ask them like, "How's it going?" and they know what you mean, but like you don't pull out numbers. You don't say like, "How many have you killed?" Come on, man. We don't talk about that around here. Because some folks have killed a lot, and they don't want folks to like feel in a humble sense. I'm not going to be the guy here, and some folks like. You think I've got a lot, but I'm going through the ringer right now, and I ain't, this ain't the time or place to rile me up right now, know. Certain things you just kind of, there's a little etiquette there, I guess. You pick up on after a while. But I don't know. I don't think superstition would be necessarily under that umbrella, but I can't remember any that I've specifically asked, or I'm sure I've had some wild ones too, but.
Yeah. Where can people listening find your content and your stuff?
Everything can be found at springlegion.com. All our social medias are at Spring Legion. And then the book is available on Amazon. Signed copies are on our website and everything. And then the Spring Legion podcast is on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff too.
Very cool. From Learned, Mississippi, come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where it's going to take you over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah,
it's amazing to think about.
If they do know, I wish they'd tell me so I can kind of prepare a little better than I have the past few years.
Yeah. That might take the fun out if you knew, though.
You're probably right.
Well, congrats on everything so far. It's a really cool story. Really proud for you and y'all. And we're going to be following along.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Yep. Hope y'all enjoyed that. He's Hunter Farrier with Spring Legion Turkey Hunting. Y'all check it out, springlegion.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you outdoors.